You know, that search for inner peace, it's something we all feel, isn't it? It's like this universal human journey. But what if I told you the map for that journey was already drawn up, like thousands of years ago? Today, we're going to dive into the profound and, yeah, sometimes really surprising paths to tranquility that were laid out by 5 incredible Eastern traditions. So, let's start with the big one, the fundamental question. What is the path to inner peace? I mean, is it all about hardcore discipline? Or is it about surrender, just letting go? Maybe something else entirely? Well, the ancient traditions we're about to explore, they didn't just sit around and ponder this question. No, they developed entire, intricate systems for answering it.
And the answer they came up with is way deeper than just, simple relaxation. It's right there on the screen. This is about a disciplined method for cultivating awareness, peace, and spiritual insight. So we're not just talking about chilling out here. We're talking about embarking on a really profound journey inward.
All right, our journey kicks off in India. We're looking at 2 ancient traditions that see inner peace not as just some state of relaxation, but as the ultimate prize, a prize you win through some seriously rigorous discipline. And their shared goal? Total, complete liberation.
Okay, first up, we've got Jainism. Now for Jains, the ultimate goal is something called moksha. The easiest way to think about it is like breaking free from this endless cycle of birth and death, reincarnation. And the way you do that is by purifying your soul, by shedding all that karmic baggage, all this spiritual gunk from past actions that we all seem to accumulate.
So the big question is, how do they actually do it? Well, they have this whole series of really powerful techniques. There's Samayika, which is all about cultivating a sense of inner balance or equanimity. Kayutsarga uses total physical stillness to kind of rise above the body. Then you have Anupreksha, which is this deep contemplation on universal truths. And Preksha Dhyana, that's all about using your breath to purify yourself. You can see how each practice is like a special tool designed to chip away at that karma and reveal who you truly are underneath it all.
Okay, now let's pivot a bit and look at Hinduism. And right away, you'll notice the goal here is also called moksha. They're also aiming for liberation from that cycle of rebirth. But the focus is just a little different. Here, it's all about the union of your individual soul with this vast, universal divine consciousness. It's a journey from the small self to the big self.
And let me tell you, the Hindu toolbox for this journey is just incredibly diverse. You've got dhyana, which is this state of deep, totally absorptive contemplation. There's japa, that rhythmic repetition of sacred mantras like Om, that really helps to quiet all that chatter in your mind. And then you get into some really intense practices like Tritaka, which is this unwavering gazing at a single point to build just unbreakable concentration. And of course, Kundalini, which is all about awakening this dormant, incredibly powerful spiritual energy that's said to lie at the base of the spine.
So when you put these 2 paths side by side, you can really see the picture. Look, both are incredibly disciplined, right? And both are aiming for moksha. But the key difference is where they focus. Jainism is all about looking inward, purifying the self, shedding those karmas to find your authentic core. Hinduism, on the other hand, tends to look outward, seeking that union with the divine through things like devotion and contemplation. It's like they're 2 totally distinct routes, but they're both heading for the same mountaintop. So, what happens when the goal isn't union or purification, but just simple awareness?
Well, that brings us to our next stop, Buddhism. This is a path that really shifts the focus away from liberation through pure discipline, and instead, it's all about achieving freedom through direct insight and awareness.
In Buddhism, the big goal is nirvana. And this isn't just some abstract idea about escaping rebirth in the future. It's about ending suffering right here, right now. The whole idea is that our suffering comes from our attachments and from fundamentally misunderstanding the way reality works. And meditation? Well, that's the tool you use to finally see things as they truly are.
Now, what's really cool here is how the practices are designed to build on each other. It's a step-by-step process. You start with samatha meditation to calm and focus your mind, basically creating a stable platform to work from. Then, from that place of calm, you practice vipassana, or insight meditation. That's where you just observe your own bodily sensations without any judgment to directly experience this idea of impermanence for yourself. And very often, this is paired with metta, or loving-kindness meditation, to actively cultivate this feeling of boundless compassion for everyone. It's really a complete system for transforming your entire mind.
All right, for the final leg of our journey, we're heading over to East Asia. And here, the emphasis shifts once again. We're moving away from that intense inner discipline we've been talking about and more towards a gentle, flowing harmony with the natural world. And that brings us to Taoism.
The whole philosophy here is that the goal isn't to strive for something, but to surrender. The aim is to find harmony with the Tao, which you can think of as the fundamental, natural flow of the entire universe. It's all about letting go of your ego and just merging with this incredible cosmic rhythm.
And the techniques they use, they perfectly reflect this philosophy of surrender. The central practice is called Zhou Wang, and it literally translates to sitting and forgetting. I love that. It's basically an invitation to just let go of your thoughts, your identity, all your effort, and simply be. Other practices involve things like harmonizing your breath with cosmic rhythms or visualizing the flow of energy, not to awaken some powerful force, but to gently, quietly refine your spirit.
And finally, we arrive at Japan's indigenous tradition, Shintoism. Now, what's interesting is that Shinto doesn't really have formal, seated meditation in the same way the others do. For them, the goal is all about connection, specifically connecting with the kami. These are the divine spirits that are believed to inhabit the entire natural world, everything from mountains and rivers to ancient trees.
The practices in Shinto are just beautifully simple but incredibly profound. You have misogi, which is a ritual purification using water, often standing under a waterfall, and you combine that with breath control to totally cleanse the spirit. The other key practice is really just nature contemplation. It's about finding a sacred space, maybe a shrine or a quiet forest, and just silently connecting with the kami. It's a kind of meditation that's completely rooted in reverence for the world around you.
Wow, so we've just journeyed through 5 completely distinct traditions. That was a lot. So now let's bring it all together and see what all this ancient wisdom can possibly mean for us, right here, today.
I mean, even though they're all so different on the surface, you start to see these common threads weaving through all of them. Almost every single one has a focus on the breath, right? They all talk about this practice of mindful, non-judgmental awareness. They all point to how vital it is to detach from the ego. And when you get right down to it, you realize that each one is just a unique path pointing toward the same ultimate goal, profound liberation.
And this table right here, it really just lays it all out for us. It's like a map of the entire journey we've just been on. You can see everything from Jainism's pursuit of karmic liberation all the way over to Shinto's goal of connecting with nature through purification. It shows how each path offers its own unique lens, its own distinct technique, and its own specific destination on this quest for inner peace. It's a really powerful way to see it all summarized.
And look, this isn't just some dusty old history lesson. Far from it. These ancient practices have become absolutely timeless tools for our crazy modern lives. I mean, the mindfulness techniques used in therapy to reduce stress, that comes directly from Buddhism. The yoga and mantra meditation that you see in studios all over the world, their roots are deep in Hinduism. These traditions offer us powerful, time-tested solutions for the very real challenges of our fast-paced world.
So that brings us right back to where we started, with a question. After exploring all these incredibly diverse paths to inner peace, from the most rigorous discipline to the most gentle surrender, the question isn't for them anymore. It's for you. Which one of these paths resonates with your own quest?